Every once in a while, a beloved phenomenon reveals an ugly downside.
Yeah, exactly. Remember how much we loved food delivery apps during the pandemic? Turns out they're not so great after all.
So, Jimmy Rose is breaking it down and telling us about a mindful approach to food delivery. That's our featured story at the top of the list.
I love authentic ethnic food, Szechuan vegetables, vindaloo gobi, and my favorite drunken noodles come from a Thai place that looks like it ought to be condemned. But many of these mom and pop restaurants are just scraping by.
No, they're not making a lot of money.
Sherry Kimes, professor emeritus at Cornell University, says
Customers love delivery.
and it's a preference that's only gotten easier to indulge.
We go to the app, we press a couple of buttons, and voila, we have food.
Right, but look at this recent commercial from Domino's.
Local restaurants have been hit hard by fees from delivery apps.
They take a huge chunk of our bottom line. All of that comes out of our pocket and goes to them.
Domino's made millions by having an army of delivery drivers, so what gives? The website of a pizza shop in California says the difference is the new raft of third-party food delivery apps. Their page says they paid almost 80 grand to delivery apps on commissions as high as 34.5%. So let's unpack this. First, the apps were a great concept.
At the beginning, it's like, okay, this is all right because I already have my labor there, I've already paid my rent, and so it's almost kind of like incremental profit that they might not have gotten regularly.
Sure, the percentages hit smaller operations harder.
That's a negotiated fee, but the smaller operators don't have as much power, and their negotiation is like a large company like a McDonald's or an Applebee's sort of thing, and so it's probably closer to 30%.
But it was only on a small percentage of orders.
Before the pandemic, it was maybe about 10% of business.
Yeah, before the pandemic, but then along came COVID.
When we had a lockdown, it was about 60%.
A 30% hit on only 10% of your business is manageable, but a 30% hit on 60% really cuts into your overall profits. Plus, during lockdowns,
We don't have the dining business anymore.
100% of a dine-in check sticks to the restaurant, which paid for the staff that could also handle an incremental increase in delivery orders. So pre-pandemic, any business the app strummed up was gravy. But when lockdowns shut down dine-in service,
You've got to cover all of those costs with what you're getting from the delivery.
even though you're losing up to a third of many of those orders to commissions.
That's where it starts to become really difficult.
So how can mom and pop restaurants survive?
They've got to make some decisions, because if they don't, they might be bye-bye.
That could mean giving some dine-in space over to delivery or using lower overhead ghost kitchens for certain kinds of orders. And how you pass along third-party delivery costs matters.
I've done some research on this. If you say to customers, delivery costs 20% more than takeout, the customers are okay with that. But if you say takeout is 20% less than delivery, they love it.
The bottom line for consumers who are serious about supporting mom and pop restaurants, pick up the food yourself.
If you want to go ahead and match your ethics, you're going to have to do a little bit of extra work, which is going to be contacting the restaurant and doing takeout. Means you got to get there too, but that would help them immensely.
Ordering mindfully to support local restaurants is at the top of the list.